Okay, story time. This is the story about my turkey friend. I named her Phazy after I found out that she was a girl. But anyways, I think the neighbor up the street from 977 Twilight Zone Hill owned her, but she kept on coming to visit, and I kind of got attached to her. I was like looking forward to seeing her little face every day, and it was just like just because I can't have animals at the apartment, and like you just can't even enjoy wildlife. It's like, I don't know. Anyhow, so I got attached to her, and I just had this feeling that something bad was going to happen. Like, and Stanley comes down one day, and he's like, "Oh, I feel bad for it." And I was just looking at him like, "Well, why do you feel bad for it?" It's like, the turkey's fine. There's nothing wrong with the turkey. And Ed's trying to say, "Oh, there's something wrong with the turkey." I was like, "No." I'm like, "The turkey's fine. There's nothing wrong with her." So anyways, she was like my little pet, and she used to come every day to visit, and it was like so much joy. So come to find out, I don't know if it happened before I went to Bridge Project or after I went to Bridge Project, but I'm looking for the I'm looking for the turkey one day. So I go to my neighbor's house, right? And he lived in the trailer, and I'm like, "Oh," I was like, "Have you seen the turkey?" And he's like, "No." The neighbor wants to somebody one of the neighbors wants to stab it with a knife, or something about attacking the turkey with a knife. And I was like, "What the hell?" And so then I look down, and there's a cap, and I look at the cap from the soda bottle, and it says it was from Honest Tea, but it said Honest on it. And I was like, "Oh, look at the sign." So I don't know if that was true, or if he was just trying to freak me out. But when I went into the Bridge Project, I was talking about the turkey, and she was like, "Well, I'm the one that was complaining about the turkey." She lived right next to she lived right next to 977 Twilight Zone Hill. So yeah, she was like, "I'm the one that complained about the turkey because I guess the turkeys kept on getting into her garden or something." So I'm like, "Oh, I didn't expect that," because I just went there for help, and I was telling her all the stuff that was going on. I had like a huge stack of like, it had to be like 30 friggin' notes, all the notes that I got from Stanley, and I showed her, and I was like, I just wanted him to stop, because he's like invading my privacy, stalking around my door. He's always out hovering around wherever I am, like if I go outside. So I was just telling her that, and I don't think she believed me, but she was like, "I'm the one that complained about the turkey." So then I come home, like, and the turkey's dead, like laid out, spread out at the very bottom of the driveway. So like, you have to see it. Like, you literally have to see it when you drive by. So everybody that pulled in that driveway had to see the turkey dead. But nobody buried it, nobody cared, and it just sat there. And I was just like, "Well, I'm going to wait, and I'm going to see if Stanley's going to do anything about the dead turkey at the bottom of the driveway. Like, is anybody going to do anything about it?" And it just sat there and sat there and sat there, and nobody did anything about it. So I went and got the wheelbarrow, and I buried her in the back of the property, and put rocks over it. But I think something came and took her away, redug her up or something. But yeah, so that was a little traumatizing. But that's the story about Phazy, the turkey, and I knew something was going to happen to her. I just had this feeling. I was like, something's going to happen to her, and it did. But of course, I want to say that somebody just hit her with a car and whatever. But after the neighbor was like, "Oh, somebody wants to like stab it with a knife," I was like, "What the fuck is going on here? Like, why would even somebody say that?" So anyhow, that happened.